She is already on her knees when the gates open. The Hippodrome of Constantinople. Summer, midday heat. The sky is empty and hard, no clouds, no shade. Stone seats rise all around her like walls of faces. 50,000 people packed into the stands. Some are standing, some leaning forward. Every eye fixed on a single point. Her, Helena, 23, born into a noble blue family, now kneeling alone in the center of the arena, her wrists bound with iron, ankles shackled so tight she cannot stand, cannot turn. The chain forces one posture, low, exposed, on display. She can feel the sand burning through the skin on her knees and palms. She has been here long enough that the pain no longer stings. It feels distant, like it belongs to someone else. The noise never stops. People shout to each other, laugh, argue. They are not talking about races. There are no chariots on the track today. They are talking about her, betting on how long she will last, trading rumors of what she did to deserve this. Helena does not know what they have been told. She was given no charges, no sentence, only the command to kneel, to remain still. Then the sound shifts. Behind her, metal scrapes against stone. A heavy gate slides open. Voices shout commands she cannot understand. Hooves clatter against the arena floor. A dull thud follows. The crowd reacts instantly, the roar rising like a wave. Rough, hungry, excited. Helena twists as far as the chains allow. She can see only from the corner of her eye dust, movement, something large and dark. Then she hears it breathe. Low, rough, close. A bull. They have brought a bull into the arena. They are driving it toward her. This is not random cruelty, not a simple execution. This is a stage moment, a message, and it is still not the worst part. The bull walks slowly, deliberate steps. Handlers guide it with ropes and poles. It is not charging. It is calm. The handlers keep it just far enough that Helena cannot yet feel it. She can only hear it, only imagine it. The crowd begins to chant, not for her, but for the spectacle, for the moment they paid to see. Her breath comes in short bursts. Shoulders shake. Hands tremble against the chains. She tries to find familiar faces in the stands. Family, friends, neighbors. Are they watching, looking away, or leaning forward like everyone else? The bull steps closer. Its breathing grows louder, heavier. The power in each exhale presses against her imagination. Someone in the crowd shouts her name, not kindly. Helena drops her head. She does not know yet that this moment is not about killing her body. It is about killing something else. Her name, her standing, her future. She does not know that others have already died in this arena this week. That men in the shaded imperial boxes above believe this is the safest way to control a city. She only knows one thing. The bull is behind her now, close enough that she feels its heat, though it has not touched her, and nobody moves to stop it. This is not the moment when things went wrong. This is the moment when the system worked exactly as designed. To understand why Helena is here, you must understand what this place truly is. The Hippodrome was built to look like entertainment. 400 meters of track. Stone seating for tens of thousands. An ornate imperial box, the Cathema, where the emperor and his court sat above all. On race days, the arena was full of color. Banners of blue and green, chariots painted with symbols, drivers treated like celebrities. Today, none of that matters. Today, the arena exists only to remind one city what it means to kneel. But beneath the surface, something else was happening. Beneath the sand, corridors and chambers twisted through the Hippodrome. Storage rooms, holding cells, hidden passageways allowed guards to move people in and out without the crowd ever noticing. The arena was more than entertainment. It was infrastructure, a place where the emperor could look down and see the entire city gathered in one space. A place where loyalty could be measured by where people sat, what colors they wore, how loudly they cheered. A place where obedience could be rewarded and disobedience punished, publicly, What was happening to Helena did not begin with her arrest. It began with the factions. In Byzantine Constantinople, citizens were not simply citizens. They were blue or green. Originally, these were racing teams. Over time, they became something far more: political parties, street gangs, religious pressure groups, private militias. If you were born blue, you expected to live and die blue. If green, the same. They had leaders, meeting halls, their own ways of enforcing discipline. They could organize in minutes, fight in the streets, turn a crowd into a weapon. The hippodrome made this loyalty visible. Blue on one side, green on the other. You wore your colors. You cheered your team. You joined in the chants. If you stayed silent, people noticed. If you cheered at the wrong moment, people noticed. And when the emperor looked down from his box, he saw more than chariots. He saw a map of the city's loyalties, who would support him, who might resist, who could be persuaded or punished. The factions gave emperors a powerful tool. Promise favor to one side, threaten the other, play them against each other, so they could never unite. Most of the time, this delicate balance held, until it broke. 532. Taxes had risen. Religious tensions sharpened. Resentment simmered in every district. The blues and greens were both angry, not with each other, but with Justinian the emperor. For once, they shouted the same word: Nice, victory, not on the track, but over the man in the purple robes. On January 18th, the hippodrome was packed, chariots ready, drivers at their posts. None of it mattered. The crowd turned from the starting gates toward the imperial box. Tens of thousands of voices merged into one chant: Nice, nice, nice. They demanded that Justinian dismiss corrupt officials, lower taxes. He heard them, but not the way they expected. Officials were sent to negotiate, shouted down, forced a retreat. Then Justinian made a choice. He ordered the gates sealed, every exit, every passageway out of the arena locked. At first, the chanting faltered. Then it stopped. Confusion spread. Some tried to leave and found the way barred. Panic grew in the stands. They were trapped, not at a race, but in a container under an emperor who had decided to solve his problem directly. Whatever you imagine happened next, the reality was far worse. Justinian summoned his best general, Belisarius, a man who would later become legendary for campaigns against foreign enemies. That day, his army's target was inside the capital, inside the hippodrome. They entered through passages beneath the arena. 3,000 soldiers, heavy infantry, shields, short swords, spears. No archers, no ranged weapons. What was about to happen would be close, intimate, brutal. The soldiers formed a line across the arena floor. Then they moved up into the stands. The people trapped inside had no weapons, no armor, no training. Most had come expecting races, noise, spectacle, not this kind of violence. As the soldiers advanced, some tried to fight with bare hands. Some tried to climb the walls. Some tried to break through the locked gates. They failed. Row by row, section by section, the soldiers advanced with methodical precision. They were not there to intimidate. They were not there to injure. They were there to kill. By nightfall, somewhere between 25 and 35,000 people were dead. No graveyard could hold that number. The hippodrome itself had become a mass grave. The message was simple: never unite against the emperor. The survivors carried the memory home. They told their families. They told their children. But while soldiers were killing the crowd, something else was happening in the stands. Officials moved through the chaos with lists in hand. They were looking for specific people: leaders, spokesmen, wealthy backers of opposition, and families connected to them. Some were pulled aside, not killed, not yet. They were kept for something more precise, more personal, more visible. The massacre was only one part of what the hippodrome was built to do. After the mass killing, the arena remained silent for a few days. Then it reopened. Races were no longer scheduled. A different kind of performance was planned. 73 women had been taken alive from the stands during the chaos. Wives and daughters of men who had spoken too loudly or been in the wrong place at the wrong time. They had been kept beneath the arena. No proper beds, no privacy, little food, less water. By the time they were brought up, they were weak. That was intentional. The crowd that day was smaller, around 10,000, but these were chosen spectators, loyal, influential. They would repeat what they saw. The women were marched out through the gates. For days earlier, many had watched the riots from the best seats, wearing fine clothing. Now, they wore rough garments. Their hair had been hacked short or shaved. Their faces were bruised. Their eyes red from lack of sleep. They were paraded around the track in a line. Guards walked on either side. A herald announced their names and supposed crimes, supporting treason, encouraging rebellion. The crowd was urged to respond. They shouted insults. They threw whatever could sting without leaving permanent marks, rotten food, clouds of dirt. The women were forced to complete the entire circuit of the track, 400 meters. If any fell, they were pulled to their feet. They were not allowed to shield their faces, speak, or look away. At the end, they were brought to the center of the arena and made to kneel. Their sentences were read. Exile, confiscation of property, loss of status. They lived, but the people in the stands did not remember them as living people. They remembered them as examples. This is what happens to women who stand too close to the wrong men, who fail to keep their place, who are present when power is challenged. Their families lost more than land. They lost a future. You are watching the same process being applied to Helena. Her punishment is not about blood. It is about erasure. The Nika massacre changed something in Constantinople. The Hippodrome did not return to being merely a racetrack. It had proven how effective a single public space could be for controlling an entire population. From then on, it became one of the empire's main stages for political punishment. Some of these punishments were quick. Blinding, for example. The Byzantines used it to remove rivals without killing them. If a man could not see, he could not lead armies. He could not read documents. He could not sit confidently in the imperial box and look down at the people below. But he could walk through the city as a warning. People would see him and remember. Romano IV is one of the most famous cases. After military defeat and political betrayal, he was brought to the Hippodrome. The crowd gathered to witness what would be done. His crimes were read aloud, not just failure, but danger. They let the fear do the work first. Minutes stretch. The sun does not move. Sweat runs down Helena's back and pools at her waist. Her arms ache from holding herself upright against the pull of the chains. Her mouth is dry. Her jaw is tight enough to hurt. The bull exhales again. Hot animal breath. Close. The crowd has quieted. Not silent, never silent, but focused. This is the part they lean forward for. The waiting. The uncertainty. The moment where the victim's imagination fills in what the empire has not yet revealed. Then, finally, someone speaks. A herald steps forward, his voice amplified by the stone. He does not shout. He does not need to. Every ear is already turned toward him. He begins to read. Not a trial record. Not evidence. A declaration. Helena's name. Her family name. Her faction. Words like disloyalty. Improper association. Failure of restraint. Carefully chosen phrases that sound official but explain nothing. The crowd murmurs. People fill in the blanks themselves. They always do. The bull is not mentioned. Not yet. The herald pauses, lets the tension hang, then announces a sentence. Not death, not mercy. Something in between. Something that can still be changed, escalated, withdrawn. The bull is part of that uncertainty. A prop, a threat made flesh. Helena's knees shake. She bows her head not in prayer, but because her neck will not hold itself up anymore. Tears fall into the sand, darkening it in small, uneven spots. Only then do the handlers pull the bull back, just a few steps. enough for the crowd to notice, enough for Helena to feel the space open behind her like a wound. She does not understand yet. This was never about the bull killing her. It was about convincing her that it could. The guards move in. Rough hands grip her arms, haul her upright. The chains bite into her wrists. Her legs nearly give out, but they force her to stand. The crowd reacts, some disappointed, some relieved, all attentive. This is a pivot point. If she collapses, she will be dragged. If she resists, the spectacle will escalate. If she obeys, she may live, but not as herself. She is turned toward the track, toward the long, open oval of sand. She has watched others circle in triumph. Now she will walk it in disgrace. The herald announces the next phase. The procession. Her hair will be cut, her family name stripped, her property seized, her future reassigned. Not today, perhaps, but soon, as Helena takes her first step forward, barefoot on burning sand, she understands what the hippodrome truly is. Not an arena for races, not even a place of execution. It is a machine for memory. It teaches the city what to remember and what to forget, who can fall, who must never rise again. And somewhere in the stands, children are watching, learning, just as Helena once did. They let fear do most of the work. The bull's head lowers slightly. The crowd leans forward. This is the moment they will talk about later. Did she scream? Did she stay silent? Did she beg? These questions matter more to them than what actually happens. The handlers keep the bull just close enough. Helena can feel its breath on her back. She screams. The sound cuts through the arena for a moment, then is swallowed by the roar of the crowd. The bull does not touch her. It never will. That was never the plan. Minutes pass. They feel like hours. Helena's muscles shake from tension. She braces herself for impact. Nothing comes. The chains dig deeper into her wrists. Her knees ache. Her throat burns. Above her, in the shaded imperial seats, men watch carefully. Not for the bull. For her. They are looking for the exact moment her posture changes. The moment her back curves differently. The moment her head drops in a way that says clearly that something inside her is broken. When they see it, they give a signal. The handlers pull the bull away. It resists at first, then turns guided toward the gate. The sound of hooves recedes. The crowd reacts. Some laugh, relieved they did not witness something Messier. Some jeer disappointed. Some fall silent, unsettled by the fact that nothing visible happened. And yet something clearly did. Helena collapses forward onto her hands. She is still alive, still in one piece. But she is not the same person who entered the arena. She has been turned into a story, a warning. A name people will say when they want to explain why certain women do not speak up. Why certain families stay away from politics. Why certain friends decline invitations to meetings that sound even slightly risky. Helena is led away in chains. She is exiled soon after. She dies young. Her official cause of death is not recorded. It does not need to be. As far as the empire is concerned, the part of her that mattered died in the hippodrome. The ruins of the hippodrome still exist in modern Istanbul. Tourists walk along the old track, sit on benches where stone seats once rose, take photos of columns and fountains. Few think about what this place was built to do. They see it as a historical site, an impressive remnant of a vanished empire. They do not see it as a machine. But that is what it was. A machine for turning power into spectacle, turning citizens into an audience, turning dissent into warning stories everyone would repeat. The Byzantines saw themselves as civilized, educated guardians of law and faith. They preserved Roman legal traditions, copied ancient texts, built churches that still stand today. And they did this. They used a public arena to kill tens of thousands in a single day, to blind rivals, to drag bodies behind chariots, to strip women of identity in front of crowds, to break people like Helena without laying another hand on them. That contradiction matters. It shows that civilization does not erase cruelty. It refines it, makes it efficient, careful, strategic. The hippodrome is gone as a working arena, but the pattern it represented has not disappeared. Modern states still use public examples. They still humiliate opponents. They still stage events that teach people what happens when you challenge power. Sometimes the arena is a courtroom broadcast on television. Sometimes it is a press conference. Sometimes it is a social media storm. The tools change. The logic does not. Helena does not have a grave people visit. Most of the victims of these spectacles do not. Their names are scattered through chronicles, if they appear at all. But the system that destroyed them can still be studied, understood, and recognized when it tries to appear again. The most effective terror does not always aim for the body. It aims for identity. It ensures that when a person walks out of space, they are not who they were when they walked in. That is what happened in the Hippodrome. That is what happened to the women paraded after the Nika riots. To rivals blinded on public platforms, to rebels mocked with fake crowns before execution, to Helena kneeling in the sand with a bullet at her back. They all became stories, warnings, symbols, lessons etched into the memory of the city, repeated by those who survived, observed, and remembered. If this story moved you, support the channel by subscribing and liking the video. The question is not whether empires will try to use these methods again. The question is whether we will recognize them when they do, whether we will see the mechanisms of fear and obedience, the public displays of humiliation, and the careful dismantling of identity, and whether we will stand in the crowd and watch or refuse to be part of the spectacle at all.